Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Dani and I've been skating for 8 years now. For 4 years I have been teaching kids and adults. If you've never stepped on a skateboard before, or if you've only tried a few times, this video is for you, especially if you're too shy to go to the skate park. It's completely normal to be scared of looking silly, and I know it doesn't help if I just tell you that no one will actually laugh at you because everyone has to start somewhere, but of course you think, I just want a safe space. I'm gonna try to explain to you the very first steps on a skateboard. You can either do these exercises like on a carpet, in your garden or in your garage, whatever you feel like is a safe place for you. We're gonna keep it chill, at home and completely doable. Stick around till the end of the video because that's where I will share my most important tip. So grab your board, stay comfy and let's skate right here, right now. First things first, let's just have a look at our skateboard. So this is our skateboard. We have our 4 wheels. The 4 wheels are attached to a truck. The truck is a place which is movable and it's just movable to the right and the left side. And this is the deck, the wooden part of the skateboard. You can see there is a slightly longer side and a slightly shorter side. So the longer side is the nose, this part here, and the shorter side is called the tail. And if you have difficulties in telling which is which, that's completely fine. You can just look at the graphic, either on the back or in the front. It will tell you which way is the nose and which way is the tail. On the upper side of the deck, you can see the screws where the trucks are attached to. That's how you can tell where the trucks are on the other side. For now, that's the most important parts that you need to know about the skateboard. Now it's time to find out what our stance is. There's a simple test that you can do just to find out which foot is your more stable foot. So that foot would be your front foot. I will stand sideways for you to see. And what I will do is I'll just stand straight, lean forward. It's actually my right foot, then you're goofy, so remember that. If you step up first with your left foot, then your left foot is front. You're regular. As far as I know, regular is supposed to be the more common stance and goofy is a bit less common. Fun fact, most of the time you can just look at a skater's shoes and then you can tell which stance they are. For example, my right shoe is pretty much rubbed off on the side, so you can actually tell that I'm goofy. Now back to the skateboard. So the bolts that I already mentioned, the places here and here, are the safest place to place your feet. So your front foot should go here and your back foot should go on the lower bolts. Now we're doing our first step on the skateboard. I place it here on the carpet where it's safe and doesn't roll away. Then I'll place my front foot on the front bolt and my back foot on the back bolt. If you're a bit scared, try to hold onto something so you can get a feeling for the board, but it should be fairly easy when you're on the carpet. The most stable position is with your feet on the board, parallel to each other, facing to the front. Your shoulders should align with the direction of the board and your knees should be slightly bent. Your heel and your toes can go over the board by a little bit. You can hold out your arms to have some more balance. What you shouldn't do is point one foot to the front and one foot to the side, because you can see how my hip is also not aligned with my shoulder and not with the board, and that makes you unstable. It's especially hard at the beginning. If you're an experienced skater, you can even skate like this, it's no problem, but at the beginning it's best to have your hip, your shoulder and your board aligned in one direction. When standing in your safe position, experiment with how deep you can bend your knees. Like if you stand straight, it's going to be harder to balance. The deeper you go, the more you feel that you are actually quite stable and it's hard to push you. That's because the center of your weight is your upper body, or basically also the hip, And the lower you bring the center of your body, the harder it is to tip you over. So because the center of the body is closer to the floor, it's harder to tip over than the center of your body having up here. It's much easier to tip you over, right? So just experiment at how much you bend your knees. You can skate standing all the way straight up, but it's much harder to balance compared to when you're bending your knees. And just looking at all the experienced skaters around, you'll see that everyone is pretty bent with their knees. That's something that at the beginning is quite hard to get used to because it's also quite exhausting. But at some point you'll get used to it. Your weight is centered in the middle. You can try experiment to go left and right a bit. Bend your knees, remember to bend your knees and go a little bit to the right, to the back. Move around, wiggle around to the front, to the back. Get a feeling for the board and then see how it feels. Do the same in every kind of stage of bent knees levels and just find out how it feels like. You can try to bend more onto the front foot. That's also so good exercise. And also to your back foot. Just practice between these. We don't just want to stand on the skateboard. We want to push and roll around, right? And to practice this, you can also just start on the carpet and just practice switching between the rolling foot position and the pushing foot position, because these are two different positions. I was going onto the board from this side. This is actually not how a skateboarder typically goes onto a skateboard, but the way you start is by the pushing position. So the pushing position is your front foot is with the ball of the foot on the front truck. So this is a safe place. Don't go too much to the front because that's how you can tip over to the front and then fall to the front. When you go up, you could just try and get a feeling to standing with your weight on your front foot. Just let go a little bit to practice that. Basically where your back foot goes is on the back truck, on the back bolts. When you're in this position, you just lift your heel a little bit and slide your foot, turn it, and then you are in the rolling position. So this is while you roll. And you can do this slowly. Pretend to push, go up and turn. Turn your shoulders again to align with the board. And you can just do this like a few times just to get used to it. And the better you get, the faster you can just do it in one movement, right? So later on the streets, you can easily switch between the two positions. Don't forget to bend your knees. It's also completely fine if your foot doesn't rotate 100%. If it's like a little bit angled, that's also fine because it's easier to switch between. What you shouldn't do is to keep your front foot in your rolling position, pointing to the side, and then try to push, because then you can see what's happening is I cross my legs, and this way I cannot balance at all. You have to at least angle it a bit for the pushing. Just practice this until you feel very comfortable, because this is one of the basic things that you will always need, and the earlier you get this correctly, the better. Okay, next thing is we want to learn how to get off the board when we feel insecure without hurting ourselves. So this exercise also builds confidence in your board. Every beginner is scared of jumping on the skateboard. If you want to jump off the board, the easiest thing is to hop to the front by jumping with both your feet at the same time with equal weight distribution to the front, just like this. Yeah. And that's how you can get off the board like the easiest way is while you're rolling, and then just jump off. You should do this like a few times just to get used to it. And you can also jump onto the board the same way. Your feet should aim at the bolts again, and then just jump onto the board with equal weight distribution on both feet. When you land, just try to remember to bend your knees, so like this. Yeah. And this way you can just practice jumping on and off the board. If you feel safe, you can even try to jump backwards. or with a body variable like a turning motion. Just practice this and you'll learn to build your muscle memory. Most of the time you may fall uncontrolled because you're losing your balance. The most important thing is when you fall off and you step with your free foot off the board to step to the front, because that's how you can catch your fall to the front, because you have your arms. Never step to the back. Stepping to the back and falling to the back means you could fall on your head. But the best thing when you're falling is actually to bend your knees when you see you're falling, because the lower your body you can bring your body, the lower the impact will be, right? The impact from here is much bigger than the impact from here. I mean, there are a lot of other videos on YouTube where you can check and practice how to fall, but you can start at home on your carpet. Just try to let yourself deliberately fall to the front and learn to bend your knees. And again, don't try to fall like this. Try to bend your knees and fall like this. That way you can catch the impact better and not hurt yourself. Here comes the last exercise that you can also do at home before you just start on the streets. How to actually turn on your skateboard. So there's two ways to turn on your skateboard. You can either balance to the front to turn to the side that you're leaning onto, or to the back. Turns will be pretty small depending on how soft your trucks are set. The bigger turns can be done by placing your feet a little bit more in the direction of the tail, and then you just tap a little bit like this. Not too much. Remember how you put your weight on the front and on the back. Just put your weight a little bit on the back, and then you can tap like this. And if you feel safe with the tapping, you can start to try and tap to the front. And that way you can start turning to that side. Or you can practice tapping to the back and practice turning to that side. And when you're starting to roll around on the street, you can also just start practicing to turn by tapping and moving in one direction. And the movement is started by turning the shoulders. So when you start turning, you just charge your shoulder in the opposite direction and then you release, and that way your whole body will move with you and your feet with you, and you and your board will turn in that direction. Just took your first step on a skateboard and you didn't even have to leave the house. If you're feeling secure and comfy on your skateboard now, then just try and take it to the streets. Find a spot where you feel safe. Make sure there are no pebbles. And another extra thing that you could do is to practice rolling switch. Switch is when you stand in the other stance. And hey, I promised you my most important tip at the start of the video, and here we go. I think that progress isn't about tricks. It's about feeling comfortable on board, especially at the beginning. Try to learn shovels and ollies and kickflips right away. If you don't feel comfortable on the skateboard, just try to roll around as much as possible wherever you go. Just take your board and practice balancing, standing, rolling on all kinds of terrain until you feel really safe, and that will really help with any other basic trick that you want to do later on. Really, don't rush it. Just get comfortable on your skateboard and you got this. And if you're feeling safe now, then feel free to check out my other video where I give some more exercises on how to feel comfortable on your skateboard. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this video has helped you. If it did, then I'd be really happy for a like, a comment, or even a subscribe. See you next time.